Bonjour, good evening, and hello. A couple of things I wanted to talk about this evening. I have been watching quite a bit of the political to and fro-ins in the UK just before the general election, and looking at the way that it's set up. And you know what? It's quite interesting. If you look, and I'm talking about just on at first glance, if you don't go into it too deeply. Now, here's what's interesting. Because of the, what was it called? Civil War in America and the United States, you had South versus the North. South, and I know it's a lot more complicated than this, but the South wanted slavery, the North didn't. Um, the North eventually won. So in the US, you would say that a lot of these southern voters are generally going to be the racist voters, if you were going to say that anyone was racist. Here's what's interesting. Very interesting. In the UK, the what you would class as the poor, who you would say in the States would be the southerners, the poor in the UK would vote for Labour because the working class party, and the upper class bourgeois lot would vote for the Conservatives. Now here's what's interesting. Conservatives were always the racist ones, and the working class is full of lots of, let's call it, multi-ethnicity. Here's what's interesting. I would say both of those main parties are filled with racist followers. I just thought it was super interesting. I'm not saying the whole of the north of the United States aren't racist, but I just thought it was super interesting that the working class of the UK of 20, 30, 40 years ago were incredibly racist, and so were the upper crust conservative type businessmen. They were racist as well. So it's kind of like everyone was racist here. So who realistically does the ethnic person vote for? Do you vote for the upper crust, which is just full of older white men, or do you vote for the working class or the working class party, I should say, who is just not so much full of racists now? And I'm not saying everyone is racist, but what I'm saying is a lot of them now have gone to, I think there was like, let's just say any party that Nigel Farage happens to front, a lot of the racists will follow him. I'm not saying he is, but a lot of the racists will follow him. So I just thought that was an interesting dynamic. And if you go back to the actual looking at what's happening at the moment, I have seen quite a few little pictures come up. Quite funny. That I saw one the other day that said it was a picture of a wolf stood in front of a field full of sheep, and the wolf said, it was a little speech bubble of the wolf saying, "I pledge that when I'm voted in, I'll become vegetarian." No, you won't. It's I kind of feel like that's the situation that everyone's in. Is people tell you what they're going to do, and you think, oh, I'd really like that. I would really like it if they would reduce taxes for my tax bracket or whatever. And then it just never happens. So it's kind of like, well, I like what you say more than what they say, but I don't believe you or them. So who the hell do I vote for? So I just kind of think the system is, you can't change it. I mean, what else would you do? But I just think it's a bit farcical. Who do you vote for? You've got generally a choice of two. Yeah, you can go outside field if you want, go for a third or fourth, one of the lower ones. But ultimately they both talk shit. So what do you do? Do you know what I mean? It's I think that's why so many young people are quite disillusioned with it, because I think at the moment everyone hates the Conservatives. A lot of people hate the Conservatives, apart from all the boomers. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. There's no way Conservatives are going to win back. I don't think they want to win. I just don't think they want to win. So I have a feeling that they're going to let Labour win, let Labour start turning things around, Conservatives get back in and take all the glory. I think they've got some sort of bullshit plan like that, but I got no idea. It's just a complete mess, to be honest. Everything's a mess. And the other thing is, if you live in the UK, the weather is just it's depressing. I was saying to someone the other day, it's like how I imagine it would be inside Azkaban prison in Harry Potter. It's just grey skies. It's depressing. It's supposedly the middle of the summer, and it's just shit. It really is. It drains any life you have within your soul. It just drains it out, and you just think, what's the fucking point? It's dark all winter. It's miserable all winter. And you know what? It's just as fucking miserable through the summer. So it's just, what's the point? And then where I'm from in Brazil, I look at the weather, and what does the weather say? It's coming up to the winter. I mean, the winter is July, August. It's coming up to winter. It's what, mid-June it is, and it's like 29, 30 degrees, and I just think, clear sunny day, 29 degrees, and I'm sat here in supposedly the summer, and it's just horrendous. It is horrendous. It does drain the life out of you. It is crap, to be honest. Anyway, let's start moaning. Something else I was looking at also at the moment is the European Football Championships, the Euro 2024, and really fascinating concept to me is that of a international football manager. Now, I would love to do a little bit more digging into this, but I was thinking about a club manager and what they have to do to be successful, and the characteristics and traits they have to have. Now, what's interesting is they have those players all year round. Those players are paid by the club, and it's interesting that they will have a lot more of a say in terms of what that player will learn and how they could develop in terms of tactical, technical. How is that player going to develop? And what's super, super interesting is when you go to international football, these players might only go to, say, 4 or 5 camps internationally a year. They might only have, say, 8 games a year, something like that. And that manager has them for such a short period of time. All their players are from different teams. And what is it that international manager needs as his skill set as opposed to a club manager? So what does a club manager need? I mean, they need a good coaching staff around them, but they need to know how to get the best out of those players in the long term, how to get them to learn to play together and systems and all that sort of shit. You don't have time for that as an international manager. So what can you do? What do you focus on? Now, there's no point in you doing any technical training whatsoever. You don't have time for it. There's no point in you, and I mean, if you're playing at that level, you'd hope that they were technical players anyway. You don't have really the time to go through much in terms of developing that player. So all it's about is, here is my system, and I need to pick the players that are going to complement that system the most. So now we're saying that the manager needs to be tactically aware, especially of the other teams. But I would say the main thing or the main trait of an international manager is the ability of being able to gel a group of players in as short a time as possible. How can you get all of those players on the same page? And I think that's why England struggled for so many years, because they would have a core group of players from Liverpool, players from Manchester United, players from Chelsea, players from Arsenal, and they all hated each other. And it just, the dynamic never worked. Now, today, I was looking at England played today, and I looked at the team, and the players are like Newcastle, Aston Villa, I want to say Everton, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Arsenal, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Man City. I think that's it. But there's still quite a mix in there. Yes, there's 3 Man City players, but there's quite a bit of a mix, and I think having that mix it will help you, because you haven't got cliques already formed. All you have to do is gel that team, and I think gelling that team and getting them to all just be on the same, I think, just to be happy to be around each other and believing that they can win and going in the same direction in terms of what they want to achieve out of those games. And I think that is a lot easier when you're playing international football, because they all want to win for their country. They all want to represent their country. So you're kind of halfway there already. But it is a fascinating kind of relationship that an international manager has compared to a club manager. And I would love to interview international managers, club managers, and then people who've done both, and see what they say they believe the difference is, and see how that ties in with business potentially. If you're someone like a project manager and you get short-term projects in, you'd probably have to be more like an international manager. How do you bring everyone together? How do you pull everyone together in a short time? And the club manager would be someone who's more like a director of a business. So how do you get the club to grow? How do you get that business to grow and develop? And there's so much more to do. Anyway, I think that's fascinating. It's something I really, really, really want to look into. And the last thing, I just wanted to have a little bit of a moan, to be honest. Father's Day. Father's Day does my head in, for the same reason that Valentine's Day does my head in. I know I'll get some abuse for this, but I believe Father's Day, no, let's say Valentine's Day. I believe that I don't need to show any more than I normally do how much I appreciate and love my wife. And if I need a special day for that, then I'm clearly not doing my job the other 364 days. It's bullshit. Same with Father's Day, I don't need my children to have some day where they buy me stuff and tell me how much they love me, because they do that all the time anyway. They look after me all the time, and I know how much they appreciate me and how much they love me and how much they love spending time with me. So they don't need to pretend to do it and force it for one day. I feel that's what it is for Valentine's Day. Going back to Valentine's Day, I believe it's for couples that just aren't that nice to each other, generally, that don't show each other enough love and affection, generally, and just aren't there for each other. Just, if you're happy enough with each other, you don't need to pretend for a day. You don't need to buy each other stuff. And when people say, well, why don't you do something nice? Why don't you make her some food? Well, do that anyway. Or why don't you give her a massage, run her a bath? It's like, you're not doing anything that's not normal. What does she want to do? She wants to spend time with me and my children. What do I want to do? I want to spend time with her and my children. So what's Valentine's Day gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna buy her some chocolates she doesn't want, flowers that she can't stand. That's not what she wants. I just think it's bullshit. You, if you, for me, if your partner isn't making you feel like it's Valentine's Day, at least 300 days a year, then they're not pulling their fucking weight. Let's be honest. You shouldn't have to force it and pretend it for a day. The same with Father's Day. I know my kids appreciate me. I know my kids love me. Valentine's Day, I don't need you to get me some bullshit card. I know you care about me. I know you love me. I don't need it. I don't need you to pretend, because I know it's true. I know you love me. I know you're there for me. So it just grates on me. I can't stand it. I don't like the whole it's my day. I don't need a day. I'm happy as it is. I might not look it, but I am happy. I don't need this whole pretending to make a fuss out of someone. I love getting nice things. If you can see, I've got a card behind me that says, Dad, you fill me with pride, with my favourite film, The Lion King. I love it, but I don't need that on Father's Day. Just get me on a random day. That's what I prefer about giving gifts. I don't like being forced to give gifts because it's someone's birthday. If I'm in the shops and I see something that I think someone will like, I'll just get them that thing. I don't need to wait for a special occasion. Just get it now. And then for your birthday, we'll spend the day together, or spending time with each other is what birthdays should be about. Not getting some bullshit gifts that you don't want. If I see something, I think you like it, I'll get it. And I'm lucky to be in a position that I can do that. But I just believe that's what gift giving should be about. If someone would really like something or appreciate something, then get them it. But yeah, don't force it. It's just it's bullshit, if I'm honest. It is bullshit. Yeah, I'm trying to change the subject. I'm trying to arrange some more interviews with university lecturers, university professors, PhD experts. Specifically, I want to try and find some people in, let's call it psychiatric type professions, who can help with things like I want to start looking into ADHD, autism, dissociative identity disorder, a few of these different things. And in my case as well, adopted child syndrome. I think a lot of these things create very strong personality traits, some positive, some negative, and I just want to try and pick them apart and see why these things happen and what can be done about them, and can you rewire a brain, things like that. But I do believe a lot of the, let's call it mental health issues that I have, I see them as superpowers, and I don't understand why so many other people bitch and moan about it. I see so many things where people are saying they need special treatment because they've got ADHD, or so what? Just take it, see what it is, look at the benefits of having it instead of the negatives all the time. Look at the positives, and then how you can use those positives to benefit you. And that's what people should be doing, not moaning about, I'm late for stuff. Just look at the positives. Stop trying to make everyone feel sorry for you, or blab on about how special you are and unique you are because you've got some sort of disability. Oh, whatever. Just, for me, I enjoy having ADHD, but I appreciate the things it does for me. The negatives, whatever. Whatever. I'm not bothered. But the positives, I use them. They're great. Anyway, bit of a ranty moan today, because I just, like I said, frustrated with the weather, frustrated with people moaning about ailments, ADHD, as it is in terms of like mental health ones, that only ones that I can associate with, I would say it winds me up because I have them and I just think, oh, get on with it. Things could be a hell of a lot worse. Um, and also, like I said, Father's Day, Valentine's Day. I'm just having a moan today, so apologies, but yeah, let me sort myself out. Hopefully next week I'll be back to normal. I won't be in such a moany place, and I can look at some hopefully mental health stuff and some different issues in the head because I'm kind of going down that rabbit hole at the moment. I think that's important in terms of some of the traits that you need or that are required to be not to be a leader, but some of them really do help in being a leader. So yeah, I really want to start looking at those a bit more, and I need some help with that because that's something I don't know about too much apart from my own experience. So cool, thank you for listening. Short, sharp, sweet, and yeah, I'll speak to you again soon. Thank you.